One of the things to understand is that your pitch is going to change depending on a number of different factors. Here are the two most important factors that will change how you do a pitch. The first factor is, who are you actually talking to? So with a number of different entrepreneurs, you might end up pitching the end user of the product. And in this case, you're going to talk about exactly the problems of that end user and how your entrepreneurial venture will solve that problem. You might also be pitching an investor. And for the investor, while they care about solving problems, they also want to know that you're able to solve them in a way that can make them money and make you money. You might also be pitching partners. So if you have an existing venture and you need someone to come into your venture, you may end up pitching them on why a partnership with you can create some level of financial or social windfall. The other part that you want to remember in terms of what changes a pitch is what your business actually does. If you have a very low-tech product that does not need a lot of explanation, it's one that might be a commodity that everyone can agree on why it's good, why it's bad, then that pitch will be very different than a product such as a high-end computer, a high-end car, because that's going to take much more description about how we are actually able to solve the problems and how that product is different from other products in the marketplace. By really focusing in on what type of product you have and who the market is, that will really tell us how you should change your pitch to be the most effective. So there are 5 main types of pitches that an entrepreneur will use throughout any given period of time that you're actually trying to promote your business. So I'd like to talk about each of those types of pitches in a little bit of detail. The first type of pitch would be called a high concept pitch. Now, the high concept pitch usually is summarized by a very simple sentence or a few sentences that will let us know exactly what the business is. And oftentimes, the high concept pitch will use some sort of an analogy for us to understand what the business is. So for example, like a lot of other entrepreneurs and academics, I use LinkedIn. And oftentimes, LinkedIn has been described as Facebook for business people or Facebook for an entrepreneur. Because most of us know exactly what Facebook is, we can use that analogy to draw to LinkedIn. Oftentimes, these type of pitches are incredibly critical because first, they allow others to instantly know what your company does. So in my example, by saying the Facebook of business, because most people have been on Facebook, they can understand that it's a way to connect different business people together. Also, this type of pitch is a perfect tool for end users about spreading the word about the company. As we know, any great brand, they usually have a very short slogan or they have a very memorable logo. So it's very easy to describe exactly what they are. So the high concept pitch becomes a way for most businesses to describe exactly what they do in a very short number of words. Secondly, a high concept pitch offers some proof to investors that the business model might make sense. So using our example, if I say that LinkedIn is Facebook for business people, investors already know that Facebook has some level of financial potential. And so it's much easier for them to be able to look at the concept of Facebook for businesses and think to themselves, if this works for individuals, it certainly could work for businesses.